A pleasant good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the world you may be listening from. A warm welcome to Liberia Online News Update with me, your presenter, James Karbah. The day is Friday, December 6, 2024. Top stories we are closely following. VP Office Movement for Justice in Liberia dismays bribery allegations against Kun and Senator Moi. EPS suspends 4 officers for soliciting tips at Executive Mansion, presidential residence, and security events, and fields 6 collaborations with Sierra Leone counterparts over suspected hemorrhagic fever virus case. Sabotaging development. Legislature project budget cut from 11.8 million to 4.7 million sparks debate in Liberian Senate. National Road Funds and RECB sounds MOU to boost vocational training in Liberia. Commissioner Brahma completes asset declaration. Promotes transparency in Guagula Township. Those were the headlines. We take a short break to return with the details. VP Office Movement for Justice in Liberia dismays bribery allegation against Kun and Senator Moi. The office of Vice President Jeremiah Kun has rejected allegations that he and some lawyers have bribed members of the Supreme Court bench in the terms of 900,000 to influence its ruling in the ongoing leadership crisis within the House of Representatives. There is no truth to the allegation that the Vice President instructed NM payments for any reason, the statement emphasized. A statement from the Vice President noted the Vice President's constitutional responsibility includes assisting the President and presiding over the Senate. It is important to clarify that he does not have any authority to instruct any government institution to expand public resources. Meanwhile, the Movement for Justice in Liberia, a permanent civil society group, has categorically denounced recent allegations linking Bond County Senator Prince K. Moi to an alleged scheme aimed at influencing the Supreme Court of Liberia's impending ruling in the ongoing House Speaker saga. EPS suspends 4 officers for soliciting tips at executive mansions, presidential residence, and security events. 4 Executive Protection Service agents have been indefinitely suspended for soliciting tips from guests at the residence of President Joseph Timambwaka and the executive mansion. The suspensions announced in a recent release issued by EPS Director Sam Gay followed allegations of misconduct involving officers assigned to the president's residence and the executive mansion. It has come to the attention of the EPS administrations that certain of its officers have developed the inappropriate habit of soliciting tips from individuals at the president's residence, the executive mansion grounds, and during national security events, the release stated. The statement further emphasized that such action violates the principle and ethical standards expected of EPS officers who, who are shown to uphold the law with professionalism and integrity. The EPS warned that it would not tolerate misconduct within the rank and pledged to enforce disciplinary measures, including dismissals against NN officers found engaging in unethical activities. NFL 6 collaborations with Sierra Leone counterparts over suspected hemorrhagic fever virus case. The National Public Health Institute of Liberia, Enfield, has announced the activations of its response and surveillance systems at border crossing point following report of a suspected case of hemorrhagic fever virus infections in neighboring Sierra Leone. In a communication addressed to Professor Dr. Fodet, Executive Director of the National Public Health Agency of Sierra Leone, Enfield Director General Dr. Dubert Chris Yand expressed solidarity with Sierra Leone and underscored the urgency of regional collaborations in combating public health threats. The reported case in Sierra Leone involved one fatality, with additional contacts identified and ongoing laboratory investigations being conducted at the 34 Military Hospital in Freetown. We highly appreciate and then further information from the Sierra Enfield, particularly regarding the listed contacts and results of testing that Yan wrote in the letter dated December 1, 2024. Sabotaging developments legislature projects budget cut from 11.8 million to 4.7 million sparks debate in the Liberian Senate. Over 300 proposed development projects intended to help address multiple challenges confronting Liberians across the country have been stalled due to the failure of members of the 55th National Legislature to maintain and allocate the initial US 11.8 million budgeted for legislative engagements projected and increasing disagreement over the selections of local contractors who have instructed to contest against certain lawmakers to implement these projects. With nearly a few weeks to the expirations of the current budget period of fiscal year 2024, the proposed projects, including constructions of roads, schools, bridges, among others, have not been executed due to the gap of US 600,000 from the meager US 4.7 million captured in the current budget as management fees by lands. Appearing before plenary of the Liberian Senate on Thursday, the executive director of the Liberian Agency for Community Empowerment, Julia Sally, pointed out the following: the passage of the budget, a program implementation framework was developed and signed by relevant authorities of lands, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and the National Legislature for the full implementations of the proposed project. National Road Farms and RECD signed MOU to boost vocational training in Liberia. The National Road Fund of Liberia and the European Union, that's the European Institute for Cooperations and Developments, have entered into a partnership aimed at enhancing vocational training and internship opportunities for Liberian youth. During the signing ceremony, Mrs. Jotad Yanfat Wuto, manager of the NRF, emphasized the significance of the Memorandum of Understanding. She noted that the agreement seeks to facilitate, guard, and promote internship opportunities to equip students with valuable skills and experiences. The strategic partnership underscored our mutual commitment to enhance vocational training and providing meaningful experiences for students in Liberia. The MOU serves as a cornerstone of the STRIVE projects, strengthening integrating through vocational training, which aims to create a robust framework for collaborations between the NRF and IECD. Mrs. Yanfa Waters highlighted the initiative will focus on developing and implementing effective internship programs, particularly within the rural construction sector, to equip youth, that's young Liberians, with essential skills and practical experiences. Speaking on behalf of the IECD country director, Mrs. Cummins stressed the importance of aligning vocational training with industrial needs. He stated that the partnership will prioritize clear objectives and responsibilities to ensure students gain particular knowledge that prepares them for future employments. Commissioner Brahma completes asset declarations, promotes transparency in Guagula Township. The Office of the Commissioners of Guagula Township, Mosralo County, has announced the successful conclusions of Commissioner Radha Siafa Brahman's Assets Declaration process. The two-day procedure completed in line with Liberia's anti-corruption standard has been formally documented with the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission. The Commission's Asset Declaration is a testament to his commitment to upholding integrity, transparency, and public trust as part of his leadership. Commissioner Brahman emphasized that his step aligned not only with President Joseph Juma Boakar's anti-corruption agenda, but also with his personal convictions as a responsible leader dedicated to fairness, equality, accountability, and continued improvement at both local and national levels. We believe that transparency is vital for fostering public trust, Commissioner Berman stated. The asset declaration process is a critical step towards ensuring public officials are held accountable for their financial dealings, allowing us to better serve our communities with dignity and responsibility. Commissioner Berman urged other public officials, especially those serving in rural areas, to follow suit and declare their assets. He underscored that assets declaration is not merit or legal requirement, but a national responsibility that fosters trust and promotes good governance. This is how we love to come to a close of today's editions of Liberia Online News Update with me, your presenter, Tana James Karbah. Liberia Online News Update take a weekend break, and we'll be back next week with another fresh edition.